Yeah, very much so, but as we can see, Pure gonna go ahead and opt to take the Lulu that his opponent, utilized against him in that first game. We'll have to see if he can try his hand on that and have better results than he did on his Annie. We did see a pretty...
So take a look at the runes and masteries here. You can see the 15 flat AD, as well as magic resistance, magic penetration, and health in seals. Or armor penetration.
Oh.
And then of course for masteries, should be almost the same as what we saw yesterday. No points in dangerous game, no points in spell weaving or blade weaving. But look at that, the hybrid runes going for both ability power and AD.
Yeah, he wants to weave in the auto attacks and, utilize those to the fullest advantage. So, not too surprising seeing those ones come in.
Also going for 6-3 in defense and utility just to make sure he has as much health regeneration as possible. Of course, also putting some points in blocking, and the 1 point in the percentage health increase, not actually all that impactful. So you could sub that one out for a point in maybe like blade weaving or something like that, but probably not going to save you too much on the route page.
Not too much else to look at in this regard. Let's switch over to Ssumday's. See what he's got going on.
Ssumday has literally the exact same rune page, with the exception that he put AD instead of AP, and of course has those, or is that AD? He's got 15% attack speed, so that's fairly standard from the, but he does have ability power quintessences. Okay, that's what I was looking for. And he too went with almost the exact same hybrid offense tree, but took the point out of the spell blade and put it into extra attack speed. So he has all that attack speed from the beginning of the offense tree, and no points in mana regen. Put all those points into the defense tree. And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Solo King. Game number 2 in our best of 3 versus between Ssumday and Pure. Pure, of course, losing game number 1. Ssumday, okay, Chuds. The Chudnator always gets me. Flashes, teleports, this crazy stuff at level 1. Fortunately, couldn't use his Ignite, but anyways, lots of laughing going on at the beginning of this. Even though it's kind of game point for Ssumday, if he wins this matchup, he advances to the finals. Of course, we'll be seeing the winners and the losers of these games a little bit later on, depending on who wins, because it is a round-robin format for today. We have all 3 matches, including every single one of the players who advance to the round of 6. And then, of course, the winners will play the winners, the losers will play the losers, and then, of course, the losers of the losers will play each other and for elimination from the tournament. At the end of the day, we'll have 4 players remaining coming in for our grand finals on the 8th. So you don't want to miss those. And just a quick reminder, if you don't want to miss any of the games from the Solo King, make sure to hit that follow button right down below the stream, and that will let you know whenever we go live.
Alrighty, as we can see, Pure finally making his way into the lane. Ssumday's been sitting around for a little while. He's got that ward over the wall. Might try some cheeky play. Get the catch. We don't have a scrying orb actually this time.
Well, Ssumday is very sneaky in there. You can see it's
coming
going
around
to
from
be
the side.
The dangerous game. The Great Escape. And
Oh,
he does
he
have
gets
that ward
three.
over the wall. That was actually really good ward placement, so you can use that wall to juke around.
As you can see, yep, almost dead even HPs at this point. They trade back a couple auto attacks, I think a Glitter Lance. But already, Righteous Fury Pop just sweeping down the lane, throwing out these minions to the best of his ability. As we see, we do have the double Doran's Ring start with potions. If you're opting to stick around and get that extra one. So that's going to help him out a bit. And he is, trading back quite nicely here against Ssumday.
Ssumday was trying to use that last minion in the lane to as sort of a bartering chip. It's like, do you want to hit the minion or me? But there weren't any minions that were going to kill it, so Pure just walked up and hit him in the face several times. So Ssumday a little bit lower on the HP. Both mid laners actually starting with Doran's Ring instead of the Crystalline Flask sustain build. And man, Ssumday keeps running into these glitter lances. It is it's not looking good if he keeps taking that free damage.
Yeah, he's got the attack speed to trade back, but Pure, combined with the glitter lances with the auto attacks that he's weaving in, since he did take that hybrid build, he's just absolutely devastating Ssumday's HP right now, especially when the pick shot is coming through as well onto Ssumday. So you can see it's just a heck of a lot of harass that glitter lance goes through. Takes him to about 50% so far, just about dead even in health. Tries to aggress. He's actually getting some good damage down on Pure. Pushes him back underneath the tower. Pure does not have any mana potions now, running low. Ssumday as well doesn't have too much. He can cast his Righteous Fury a couple more times. Maybe one Divine Blessing in there before he runs Zoom. But both of them are going to be very reliant on this Doran Ring regeneration from this point until they back.
Now, level 6s won't be coming for a while, which actually means that KL's, because of Divine Blessing, has a really big advantage in the lane. Because you'll continue to get HP back. The area effect auto attacks from Righteous Fury, she can shove that wave so quickly that Pure's going to have a difficult time taking a trip back to base.
Yeah, he's going to have to sacrifice either going back and getting an item advantage, which will get, it'll open up someday. But he'll also have to sacrifice losing CS and having Ssumday get that advantage. You could also get some additional damage in on the tower. Of course, that is one of our win conditions as well. So not to be discredited, as we see Pure not opting to go back. Walking in on that ward, so Ssumday does spot him out. Moves back around the side though. Not going to be able to
be very careful here. Ssumday, I'm not sure he has enough mana to go both Reckoning and Righteous Fury and get in there with a slow. But at the same time, Pure is going to get zoned off from this creep wave, and that was a cannon minion wave, so it actually would have been a pretty decent opportunity for him to go back to base.
Yeah, out there it actually is the Reckoning. Not going to be enough. The shield from Pix comes out. Will keep Pure alive, but barely so. Going to actually have to back off this time. And now falling behind in CS, down by 11. Which is more than you need to be down once you hit that 100 CS mark, of course. That is our other win condition. So we'll have to see if this is going to continue being a fairly aggressive game or if they're going to start farming up. So you see Pure going to go ahead and clear out that wave as much as he possibly can, get himself back in. Triple Doran's Rings now. Unsurprising there, but the Reckoning comes down. Ssumday just firing damage onto Pure with that Righteous Fury, fires back. Transforms him, but Pure making it so low.
Yeah, he's got hit by that second Reckoning in a row, and that was great way to win the trade. And as far as sustain goes, both players with potions, but only Ssumday has an actual way to heal himself.
Yeah, and Pure also doesn't have a mana potion. He's already running himself down a bit. The Doran's Rings will give him a bit back, but not as much as Ssumday is going to have. And as we can see, that Divine Blessing is already starting to heal him fairly significantly. And this is looking ever grim now for Pure as this matchup continues. Just completely being zoned off. Not able to get in for these minions at all.
Man, it's gonna start to get really, really rough here for Pure. He's got the wave shoved away from him, so he's gonna have to walk up, take that Reckoning, maybe trade away with the Glitter Lance. If Ssumday had been able to flash that Glitter Lance, keep in mind both players running both teleport and flash, so level 6 here for Ssumday. So he knows if he walks under turret and tries to do anything too aggressive, he's just gonna get polymorphed and die.
Yeah, also can't discredit the power of that wild growth on Lulu. It's an immense amount of HP gain, but as we can see, he goes in with the Reckoning yet again, just laying down with the Righteous Fury autos. Pure just in a very bad spot right now.
Yeah, and I don't think he has that shield from Help Picks back up off cooldown just yet, so Ssumday really winning out this 1v1. Kale just such a difficult champion to lane against, and you don't really see Kale all that much in competitive play anymore, but as far as it comes to the 1v1, definitely one of the strongest 1v1 champions we've seen yet.
Yep. Pure forced to go ahead and recall yet again. It's gonna have to be
using... I think Pure might have just lost to turret damage. Ssumday can kill the turret here. He's got a cannon minion wave coming up. Area of effect auto attacks to put the damage down, but he's actually just going to take a free trip back to base for himself and grab the same number of Doran's rings.
Yeah, unsurprising in that regard. Pure forced to just go ahead and whimsy back to his lane as much as possible. Like you said, Ssumday pretty confidently did have the damage to lay into that tower, especially with the hybrid page. Probably could have just gone ahead and won the game right there. We'll have to see if that's going to cost him the game or if he's going to come back into lane and just still have this dominating performance that he's had thus far.
Yeah, before right now, Ssumday actually hadn't taken any damage on his turret just because he had been the one in control of the game. There is the slow, there's the whimsy to come out, and yeah, polymorphing Ssumday to force him to back off.
Yeah, good counter aggression. As soon as that Reckoning comes out, that should be the first thing that Pure does every single time. Of course, it's got a bit of a cooldown on that whimsy. It's an 18-second start. It scales down from there. Nice Righteous Fury damage coming through yet again, but they're still fairly even right now. Both of them have plenty of both health and mana potions to keep them sustained this time around. Ssumday, though, those heals are immense at this point.
Yeah, the longer this lane goes on, the further Ssumday gets ahead. He's also about 10 CS ahead in CS, but whoa, going in, there's the aggression, the knock-up, there's a, ooh, it's nice intervention, does block the majority of that damage, forces a flash out. Will we see Ssumday flash on in here? He didn't have the cooldown on Reckoning up just yet, so wasn't able to flash in there and pick up a kill.
Yep, gonna be another back now, third for Pure. Does have the teleport.
Wait,
again.
He picked up boots. That's a horrible item in a 1v1.
Oh, he's teleporting onto the minion.
He's
trying to...
I guess he kind of figures out that, we're far enough into the game that he doesn't need the decreased cooldown on teleport, because the game's going to end before it comes up again anyway. Yeah.
As you can see now, Ssumday almost at that 80 CS mark. Pure fairly far behind at 65. This wave's going to bring him closer, but very close to that win condition for Ssumday. So just got to get 20 more CS and then be 10 up over top of Pure to win that game.
He is already 12 CS up, so that's not actually going to be all that difficult a win condition. So for Pure, he knows he needs to win the game now, but he's behind an entire Doran's ring, and while he does have boots, I don't know exactly how well boots are going to help him when it actually just comes to dishing out the 1v1 damage. Boots are traditionally a bad item to buy in 1v1s because you're spending money on something that doesn't give you any combat stats, so he better be able to use that move speed to his advantage here, otherwise Ssumday is just going to walk on him, and there we go, moving forward, turn into a tiny little snowman. See if he wants to build one after this, probably not enjoying it too much.
Yeah, I mean, it gets a decent amount of damage down, but it's only a matter of time for the Divine Blessing comes up. Wild Growth comes out from Pure, flash forward by Ssumday. He's gonna find the kill. And that's gonna be a 2-0 for Ssumday over Pure, as we can see the replay coming in right now. There's a lot of aggressive play.
Yeah, starts off not too badly for Pure when he gets a nice ultimate to disengage, but Ssumday has his flash up, and unfortunately Pure does not, having flashed away defensively earlier. That'll give the kill to Ssumday, a 2-0 victory over Pure.